Welcome to the Maria Liberati Show, where food meets art, travel, and life. So what does food mean to you? Well, join me with this week's special guest, Gary Deng, who is from the Sloane Kettering Medical Center in New York. And he's authored a book on wellness eating, and he's going to tell us how to eat ourselves healthy. And also, you know what? Cinco de Mayo is coming up, and I have a great recipe for a wine cake that you can make to celebrate. So stay with me. So here's my recipe for a wine cake, and you can use this to celebrate any occasion, but it's great to have as a special dessert for Cinco de Mayo, or as mentioned, really any special occasion. And it's really a special cake because you get to add your own favorite wine. So whatever wine really that is your favorite. I like to make this cake with a dry white wine, but if you have another wine that is your favorite, try it, add it in, and see what happens. And it's a great way to capture the essence of your favorite wine in a cake. It's moist and delicious. I know it's going to become a favorite of yours. So here's the recipe, and it's on my blog at marialiberati.com. It's a really easy recipe, 1 cup of sugar, and you can use organic sugar, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of dry white wine, 3 eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 cup of extra virgin olive oil, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/4 cup of rum. Preheat the oven to 375 degrees. Line a round cake pan with parchment paper. Mix eggs and sugar in a large bowl, blend with electric mixer, or place in a food processor and blend. When the mixture is well blended and frothy, add in the white wine, olive oil, and rum. Blend again, then sift the flour and baking soda into the mixture and blend this all till the dough is smooth. Place in the pan lined with parchment paper. Bake for 30 minutes or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. And there you have it. And if you want to, you can dust the top with some confectioner's powdered sugar. And today I have as my special guest Gary Deng, who is the medical director of integrated medicine at Sloane Kettering Cancer Center in New York. Right? Did I say that right? That was a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Maria. Nice to be here.
Yes. Thank you for coming. And you're here today because you have a book called, is it The Wellness Principle?
Yeah, that's right. Throughout the years, I've seen thousands of patients, helping them how to live healthy and promote wellness. And after I discuss with them, the principles, so on, they always say, well, give me something I can do. Give me something that's easy for me to do. So I was thinking about maybe I should write a recipe book, a cookbook.
Yes.
Not just a simple regular cookbook. It has 100 recipes, but more than that.
Right.
It talks about how to keep our body, our mind strong and well, in addition to diet.
Right. Oh, wow. So I'm assuming, because one of my principles has always been that food is really medicine. So it sounds like that's part of your book as well, is that food is medicine as well, in a sense.
Yeah, I think food is more than medicine, because medicine, we're talking about treating disease. Food actually helps us prevent disease from happening. That's even better, right?
Exactly, even better. Exactly. So can you give us some basic tips? Because I'm always telling people that, but you're absolutely right. Food is a preventative as well. And I'm always telling people that I've grown to learn that just my own, knowing when I don't feel well, finding out it was probably, and it usually is, something that I didn't eat or I wasn't as careful, sticking to organic and trying to stick to natural and all that. Sometimes eating on the run, doing, quick
quick whatevers is definitely not a good thing. But anyway, any quick tips that you can offer us from your book?
Well, I think there's several tips that I can offer that are not talked about a lot in other healthy cookbooks, right? There are a lot of them out there.
Yes.
I think there's several things that are missing. One is we want home cooking with real high quality ingredients, right? So instead of getting canned beans, it's not that hard to buy dried beans and just soak it overnight. And while the canned beans have been sitting there in that can for a month, if not more. And the second principle would be variety and balance. That's another thing I find not talk a lot about. If people talk about superfood, I always tell them, they're saying, well, blueberry, broccoli, superfood. I say, well, I have something better than that. I have a super duper food, which is variety. So instead of blueberry, have a mixture of all kinds of different berries. So instead of broccoli, you change your menu to cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale every day. The reason being, the human body, I'm a medical professional, so I know the biology, physiology very well.
Yes.
For every cell to function at top notch, they need hundreds of nutrients. No single superfood can provide those hundreds of nutrients, micronutrients, we call them.
Right.
So you need a variety. And the third tip I would say also not talk about a lot is mindful eating. So oftentimes the modern life makes us so fast paced, we have to multitask, looking at the phone, watch the TV for dinner. No, put them down, focus on your food. When you're eating, the world disappears. It's only between you and the food. It's just like wine tasting. You look at the color, smell the fragrant, have the taste and the aftertaste. So those are the three tips I think people should pay more attention to.
Wow, that's really important. Yeah, there are things that aren't included in cookbooks, but they're very, very important things that people should be aware of. I love the mindful eating because I know sometimes when I feel run down, it's usually because I'm on the run and I've eaten quickly somewhere or something that I probably should not have eaten because I didn't take the time to just sit. And so I lost all that time trying to save time. So it doesn't really make sense. You need to do the mindful eating all the time. I think that's really, really important. Definitely.
Exactly. I agree. It's actually not that hard. Even though you can eat fast and quickly, which I don't recommend, right? I recommend taking at least half an hour to eat a meal, chew it, and swallow it. But if you have to do that, you still can block off everything else and just focus on the food.
Yes, exactly. So any other tips in your book that people can look for, and also tell us where they can find the book?
Well, sometimes the healthy eating book, they use very healthy ingredients. But I think there's some simple modification you can do to your regular daily common dishes, like pizza or pasta with meatball. You can do something very simple and make them healthier. And so in the book, I talk a lot about that. One example is like when I talk to a patient, they always say, well, I don't eat that healthy. Sometimes I eat pizza. I said, wow, what's wrong with pizza? There's nothing wrong or unhealthy about pizza per se. It's the thick crust soaked with oil, a lot of cheese on it. That's probably not good. No. So in the book, there's a menu on healthy pizza where it's very thin crust, whole wheat crust, just like the French, I think it's called a flambon, or very, very thin. And then you put a homemade tomato sauce and some cheese only for flavor, not for substance, right? So there are a lot of things you can do to make healthy dish out of something you like to eat.
Yes, and the type of pizza you just talked about, people think of Italian cooking as healthy, and the type of pizza you talk about is the real pizza that they eat in Italy. They don't put a lot of cheese like we do in the US. So it is really healthy. So the type you're talking about is more like the original, and the way that pizza was intended to be eaten, just like that, just a little bit of cheese for flavor, a little bit of olive oil for flavor, but not, and it's so good when you enjoy it that way, because you have something great. I always add like either turmeric or cumin or some of these new, types of spices now too, because I like to make my dishes functional as well.
Yeah,
So,
make it, spice it up, make it different, for a change.
exactly.
Maria, I love Italy. I go there, before the pandemic, I go there. I went there like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yes.
And I see exactly as you say, well, they eat pasta, but it's never a big bowl of pasta, right?
Right.
It's just a little bit as part of the
portions.
whole complete meal. That's
Exactly.
the important thing. So if we can go back to the root of these cuisines, they're actually very healthy.
Yes, yes. Wow, that's so interesting. So, Gary, Deng, tell us where we can buy the Wellness Principle. It's definitely a book that's well worth it. I think everybody should be getting the book. Or can people find more info on you? Do you have a website also?
You can find it on the publisher's website, Phaidon, Phaidon. They publish a lot of book with beautiful design and beautiful photographer, like coffee table kind of arts, architecture photography. And it's also for pre-order on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. So you just put in my name, Gary Deng, you'll search and you'll find that.
And has that been released yet, or it's going to be released?
It's coming out towards the later part of May, so very soon. In a month.
Okay, so very soon. So people can pre-order it now.
Yeah, and you'll get it in a month or so.
Oh, that's great. It's just in time for summer and makes a nice read for summer. Nice book to read in the summertime. That's great. Gary, thank you so much for being here. Much success with the book, and hopefully we'll have you back in the future for your next book. All set.
Thank you, Maria. Good to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for joining in and listening to the Maria Liberati Show. And as always, thanks to my producer, Britton Roselle, and this week's special guest, Gary Deng. And you can find me on my blog at marialiberati.com, on Twitter at Maria Liberati, on Facebook at Chef Maria Liberati, on Pinterest at Maria Liberati, on LinkedIn at M Liberati. And let's see, you can also find me on my Roku channel, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking by Maria Liberati, the Maria Liberati channel on YouTube, my Vimeo channel at The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, and The Basic Art of Radio Station at Zeno Media. And don't forget my latest book, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking Diaries Seasons, is about to be released, and you can look for that on Amazon, on marialiberati.com, on artoflivingprimamedia.com. It's a memoir, but of course it also includes great recipes, and you can always find my books that have been out there for a few years, the Basic Art of Italian Cooking book series that won the Gourmand World Awards, and that you can find on my website, marialiberati.com, and on artoflivingprimamedia.com, and anywhere books are sold. Happy Cinco de Mayo, and until next time, peace, love, and pasta.